Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another deadline stream. Game week 26, the double game week that we have all finally been waiting for, is here. We got some of those big announcements yesterday for anyone who didn't tune into the stream. Yesterday, we discussed sort of the upcoming doubles in 26 and then also the upcoming doubles in game week 28 and game week 29 as well. So all of that was covered, but today we're going to focus mainly on game week 26. We'll be answering your questions. We'll be talking about, I suppose, the upcoming strategy as well. A few of you may be on Wildcard. There's a lot of hits flying around. Sort of minus 12s, minus 16s, minus 8s, sort of a minus 4 or no transfers, sort of no hits taken. You're in a very good position going into the game week because you're sort of already 4 or 8 points ahead of sort of the average person this game week. I made my transfers yesterday evening. After the stream, I sort of sat, I went to bed about 10 o'clock and I sort of sat in bed for about, I think it was about 2 hours, doing some planning and looking at my team for future game weeks. And I finally came up with the transfers that would give me the best option later down the line. So I've taken a -8 and we'll get onto exactly what that is in just a moment. But as always at the start of the stream, 100 of you in here already. Thank you all very much for joining. I've put my stream back to how it was because I think there are some key questions which are nice to have answered over on the other side. If you are enjoying, please do like the stream, subscribe if you are new, but say hello in the chat. We'll do the usual hellos to start the stream off, and then we'll get into the usual stuff, the usual questions. I have my phone with me in case there's any announcements, anything like that we need to be aware of, but I don't see anything. A few of you asking about the storm and how that is going in the UK. I don't expect anything to be impacted today. The storms in the UK were mainly yesterday and they have faded into the morning. I have my cup of tea, my glass of water, so I am absolutely set for this morning's stream. So, who have we got? 121. We've got Onskar, we've got Rohit, we've got Archie, we've got Klitsch Gaming, we've got Alif, we've got Tibwa, we've got A7X, Paula, we've got Nelvin, we've got K17, we've got Eddie Casey, we've got Adam, we've got Josip. Nice to see some familiar faces in here already. Peter, how are we doing? Welcome to the members. Saeed, Pichara, Wizard, Shahid, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I'm sure if you've got your question, fire them in the chat. Wizard, OS, Hamza, Ahmed, Brian. Nice to see you all in. So, Martinelli to Saka and Ronaldo to Kane. I personally don't see the interest in Kane, given, I suppose, the upcoming doubles in future game weeks. I actually need to get up an older graphic, so let me just pull that up. I think it's from, if not, we'll go for Ben Krellin's one. Cucurella, Lamptey, Ramsey, who to bench? I'd probably bench Ramsey. I know he's been doing well, but I don't necessarily see him continuing to score quite that many goals. Here we go. When it loads, there we go. Game week 28 and game week 29 from FPL Focal. If you don't subscribe to him on YouTube, make sure you go and do so and follow him on Twitter. 10:06 p.m. here in Hawaii. Well, time to lock in your team and go to bed, I think. Bowen injury news, thoughts. Well, if Bowen is out, then I'm quite happy with the state that my bench is in. I've got Cancelo to come off the bench. I'm then free hitting in game week 27, and I'm probably not going to play him in game week 28 as well. So it's really no hardship for me if he's out, because he's got Liverpool away in 28. I probably won't play him. He may even leave my team for a double game week player that week, like Coutinho. So it's just this week, and I'm not that bothered either way, to be honest. Ashish, Maya, how are we doing? Best Wolves defender in my opinion. It's really close. If you've got the money, I'd go Saiz, because I think he's got the most goal threat. Semedo is probably also up there as well for the attacking threat, but Kilman and Cody are probably up there as well. They're cheap options. I've got Kilman in my team. Now, if I could have afforded Saiss or Semedo with my transfers, I may well have gone there, but the centre-backs are just as good. If I had to pick, I'd go Saiss, but I don't live in Semedo. It was someone in the chat. I don't live in Hawaii. There was someone else in the chat. Start Broja or 8 Nori. I'd back the 8 Nori probably plays both the games. I'd play 8 Nori. No, Bowen, there was a rumour that he wasn't pictured in training, but I think like we got nothing to go off, right? I feel like we've all got such strong benches that it's not really something to talk about. You've got just one name to say, Ruben Neves. I feel like I recognise the joke, but I don't remember it. Antonio to Jimenez for a -4. The reason I would probably do that is not necessarily this game week you'll be paid off the -4, but there's a decent chance that you are. But then from game week 28, you'll be happy that you've got Jimenez in your team for over Antonio and that you've already done that transfer. So I would probably do it. Yash is asking, would I do De Gea to Sarr for a -4? So you will see that Sarr is in my team and De Gea is no longer in my team. So I've actually made that transfer because I want Sarr long term. I was going to play Foster this week anyway. It would be a -4 further down the line for me anyway. So it's not like, I'm saving the -4 if I waited. It would have been a -4 because there's other transfers I want to make going into game week 28. So I made the move sideways from... Well, made the move from De Gea to Sarr because Sarr has sort of this double game week in game week 28, Crystal Palace at home, Watford at home. And their fixtures sort of around that are really nice. So if I look, 29, they're away at Everton, and 30, the blank game week, they play Leeds at home. And then if I decide to save my free hit, then Villa at home, Newcastle away. Like it's a good run of fixtures for Wolves. So I've gone with Sarr in goal as a replacement for De Gea. Morning, Focus. How are we doing? Morning, Rubber Ducky. Nice to see you all in. Would I start Luca Dean or Lamptey this week? I would probably go Lamptey. The reason for it is because I've not been sold by Villa defensively in the past couple of games. They've not looked good enough. And now I know that Gerrard has said they're going to make a lot of changes today, which hopefully would improve the situation. But I would probably start Lamptey if it was me. Reason for choosing Odegaard over Zaha this game week. So I've actually had Odegaard in my team for about, I think about 8 game weeks. So it's not necessarily something I brought in Odegaard for this week and then that's the decision I've made for this week. I brought him in a long time ago and now he's stayed in my team and there's no way that I was selling him going into a double like Brentford and Wolves when they also have a double in game week 29. Now it's Leicester and Liverpool at home, but yeah, I'm not going to take him out when he's got a double, right? Virgil van Dijk or Robbo on Wildcard. I'd probably go Van Dijk, and the reason for it is because I think there's a chance that we don't get as many... You don't get 2 starts this week out of Robertson. I think there's a good chance that Tsimikas plays... one of the 2 games. So, a really interesting point is Ben Johnson points prediction. I'm so happy I finally sold him. Someone asked in the chat, why not wildcard this week? And you may have seen quite a few other people flying around that are playing their wildcard this week. And it is definitely a viable strategy. It's a definite viable strategy. If I pull up, again, I need to find something better to do while I pull up something on Twitter, but let me pull up what it could look like for you. Like I saw someone I follow, FPL TT, put up his wildcard draft, and it effectively says why you'd want to wildcard, because the amount of double game week players you can put out in future game weeks. Here we go. So he gets 11 doublers in game week 26 or free hit in game week 27. Bearing in mind, it's very difficult to wildcard if you don't have any free hits. If you have one free hit, I still think it's doable. You then have 8 doublers in 28, or it goes up to 11 again if Arsenal get a double. And then 29, his has 8 doublers, and then 30, he has 8 doublers. So this is his template. You can easily downgrade from these. Like, you could go Tierney downgrade to White, for example. It frees up a lot of money. Like, you in theory could do Coutinho down to Ramsey. Again, it frees up a lot of money. So, yeah, I think it's a good strategy. I'll talk about why it doesn't fit my team so well, but I did think about it. -4 for Robbo or Arsenal defender. Don't have Ramsdale. I'd probably go for the Arsenal defender. Reason, again, is because I don't think Robertson is necessarily going to play both games this week. If they've got Tsimikas, and Tsimikas is a viable, playing footballer, like, if he's playing to the level that we've seen Tsimikas play before, there's no reason why, when they've got 5 games in sort of 14 days, that Tsimikas doesn't play. Like, the whole point of Tsimikas, of a backup, is to, if they've fixture congestion and they have a home fixture against someone like Leeds, someone like Norwich, that player can play. There's no point of even having him there in the first place if Robertson's going to play 5 games in 14 days, including Leeds and Norwich at home. So I would go with your Arsenal defender. I'd go probably Tierney. Gabriel's goal threat is much better, but Tierney's probably going to tick along nicer. If you don't have the money, then Ben White is absolutely fine. But I'd go an Arsenal defender, especially if you don't have Ramsdale. The Arsenal defensive ownership this week is going to be close to 100%. It may even go over it, which would mean the average person has more than one Arsenal defender. What would be the minimum amount of double game week players you recommend to have? It depends who they are, but if you've got the key ones, probably Jimenez now, but I don't think he's that key this week. If you've got Salah, if you've got Saka, if you've got Trent, if you've probably got an Arsenal defender and maybe a Wolves defender, you've got 5 there, and maybe you have 1 or more around that, which is maybe 6. I wouldn't want to go in with any less than 6. I think 6 is a minimum. I'd want to be aiming for maybe 7 or 8, but without Jota now, that brings it down by 1. So maybe 6 minimum, 7 is fine, 8 and above is good. So I've got 9, but some of them are a bit dubious, right? So Son to replace Jota. Son's not a bad option at all. A double this week, then they go and double again in game week 28. Game week 29. It's not a particularly good double in either of the 2 game weeks. Is the only thing that puts me off. They have a Man City away this week and Burnley away, and then they go away to Man United and Brighton. They have 4 away games in their 2 double game weeks combined. So Foster for Ramsdale for another -4. Yes, again, I would. If you were going to start Foster and you were now going to play Ramsdale instead, I would make that move sideways, because I think Foster will be outscored by Ramsdale by at least 4 points this week. Best Arsenal midfielder under 6 million. The thing is I think Smith Rowe starts 1 game. I think Martinelli starts 1 game. I think Odegaard starts both games. But I think Odegaard is the least attacking and least exciting pick going forward out of them. But with that in mind, I'd probably go Odegaard, because he's the most likely to play. If you can't afford Saka, then he's the most likely to play both of the 2 games. What about Lacazette? As an Arsenal option, I think he's fine. There are enough other forwards starting to creep into the mix now that I'd be happy with, but he's quite a lot more than some of those other forwards is the only thing. If you look at Saka at 6.5 and compare that to Lacazette at 8.5, it's quite a big jump in the amount of money that you're having to spend on him. So I would probably go with a midfielder from Arsenal, but if you can't get them in, then I would go with Lacazette's a fine pick. He should play both. Martinelli being suspended is actually good for Lacazette playing both, and the reason for this is it means Smith Rowe, I don't see Smith Rowe playing both, which means Martinelli needs to come in for Smith Rowe, because the only way that sort of Lacazette doesn't play both games realistically is Martinelli going up front and Smith Rowe going out wide. And I don't see that happening if Smith Rowe's already played 1 game in the last couple of days. So, yeah. My chip strategy is, triple captain this week, of course, as you can see on screen. Start Edouard or King. Start Edouard or King. I'd probably go King, to be honest. Those Palace fixtures are quite difficult. My chip strategy. So I'm going to put a video out on this at some point this week. Again, sort of updating on what's going on. The doubles later on and things like that. Triple captain this week, as you can see. You can then see that I've got a lot of players next week who are going to be out. So if I go to fpl.team, and I think I've got my transfers loaded in here already. Yeah, I do. Cool. And then I look at my team for next week. It looks pretty ropey, right? You know, I've got Dennis in there away at United. I've got double Wolves defence away at West Ham, whilst also playing Bowen. Like, I'm going to free hit next week. Plus, I only have 9 players out. And I don't want to sell any of them because they all double further down the line. So I'll free hit in Game Week 27. And then just use my transfers for Game Week 28 and 29. And then the plan is to free hit... wildcard in about Game Week 31 after the blank Game Week. So that's the plan. Mendy and Foster or Ramsdale and Sarr or Sanchez. I'd go Ramsdale in... And Sarr is probably what I would do because the doubles in 28 and 29, which means you've got a double keeper in both, is probably where I'd go. If you can afford it. Greetings, how are we doing, John? Nice to see you in. Hope you're well. Son and Lacazette or Kane and Saka? I've seen this question being flown around a little bit, actually. You're not the first person I've seen, and I think it's quite hard. I'd probably go Kane and Saka, to be honest. John, how are we doing? Welcome and thank you for joining as a Tier 1 member. You get a little few emojis in there, your name highlighted in the chat, so start using a few of those emojis and welcome. Thank you for joining. Start Dallo or Cancelo? Cancelo. Saiss or Van Dijk? Van Dijk, probably. Yeah, Van Dijk, probably. I'd probably want a Wolves defender in for Game Week 28. So make sure you've got a route to get a Wolves defender in for Game Week 28. But I would go Van Dijk over Saiss. And I'd probably go Van Dijk over Robertson. But I probably would rate a Arsenal defender above a double up on Liverpool, maybe. I'd probably go with, like Tierney before I went Van Dijk. Gaeta or Foster? That's quite close. Flip a coin. Probably Foster, but I don't think there's going to be very much in it, and I don't think you'll mind that much come the end of the game week what decision you make. Let's talk about the pub quiz the other night. I am so dreadful at quizzes. Like, I went with some friends, but I'm truly dreadful at this sort of thing. My general knowledge is so poor. I think, we came third last or something, so it wasn't just me. Out of 12 people, like the same people have won it for the past 3 weeks. So that was fine, but I don't mind not winning. I was just so bad at it. I had a nice time though. You flipped a coin and it was heads. Is that Gaeta? I don't know why I think that's Foster, but I don't know. When am I wildcarding? Probably Game Week 31. I know a lot of people are wildcarding this week, and I can see why. Tomiyasu to start both games. I think it's unlikely. I don't think they're going to rush him back, and playing 2 games in that short space of time, I think is too much for him. Personally, I don't see him starting both games this week. Morning, Mark. Opinion on Mane. So I actually almost went for him. Again, my issue with the Liverpool options this week is I don't know who's going to play both games. And that means I don't think any of them are good enough options to go bringing in. Apart from Salah. If you're going to captain one, fine. Salah bringing in, fine. Trent bringing in, fine. But I wouldn't go doubling up in midfield when there's a good chance that Mane doesn't play the second or one of the 2 games. I think it's very possible that he doesn't ahead of the cup final. So you brought in Saka, Van Dijk, Ramsey and Ramsdale for a -12. I mean, the transfers you've all made is absolutely fine. I'm on a -8, so I can't I can't have too much of an issue with a -12 flying around. Yeah, your transfers are good. I don't imagine you're playing Ramsey's or anything, but you probably needed to free up money. You've sold Rafinha, fine, but how much time left to deadline? Quite a lot. We got an hour and a half until the deadline, so quite a long time. Is it worth doing De Gea to Ramsdale for a -4? I would, yeah. 100% I'd do it. I'd probably even do it to Sarr if you wanted a Wolves defender. I've done the same. I've done a -4 effectively. Do I see Dennis outscoring Cancelo, even though he gets yellow cards? Anyone who knows me knows that I am a massive double game week fiend, a massive double game week head, that like I will always play my double game week players and I'll find a way to do it, which is why Cancelo's on the bench. We are seeing rumours of whether Bowen is going to play today, but which could sort out the Cancelo dilemma for me. But the only thing that could change in my team is Cancelo coming into my starting lineup. I don't quite know where it would be or who it would be for. Yeah, I don't know where we're going to get. I don't feel good about benching Cancelo, but I don't see where in my team I'm gonna start him, if I'm really honest. So, isn't Son better than Kane? Sorry, we've got a few joining from Simply FPL. Welcome. Thank you anyone who has joined over from Sam's stream. I hope you guys are all well. We will be live right up until the deadline, so feel free to stick around. Subscribe if you are new. Start Regulon or Soufal. Probably Regulon, and I take the chance that the rumours of him being ill are not the case. But if you get Soufal off your bench, then that's absolutely fine. Son or Kane, and why? If I the extra point for a goal, extra point for a clean sheet, and he's a cheaper option, it's probably where I'd go. I'd just save the money because I think it's such a close debate. Odegaard or Saka? Saka for sure. If I could only own one Arsenal option, Saka would be up there. So yeah, Saka's definitely the better midfield. Ethan, I'm on a -8 already. I've made all my transfers. I've made 4 transfers. So yeah, I've taken a -8. George, how are we doing? Weghorst and Cornet, or Weghorst and Elise? So Weghorst is going to be in either of them, but I suppose you're questioning you're doubling up on them. Let's look to Palace double again. No. It depends what you're going to do in game week 27, George, if I'm honest. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it a lot. If you're free hitting in game week 27, then I'd probably go Elise, because I think probably long term you don't want double Burnley. So, but then again, what are you doing in game week 30 as well? If you're free hitting in game week 27 and game week 30, then go Elise. If you're not free hitting in either of those 2 game weeks, then I'd go Cornet, if that makes sense. So I think you're probably going to end up going Cornet because he plays likely to play in game week 30 if Southampton get knocked out of the cup. You'll get another double in 27 if you're not free hitting then as well. So I'd go probably Cornet unless you're free hitting in both 27 and 30. Let's talk about James Ward-Prowse. You're all in. So I was putting together a free hit draft for game week 30. Sorry, game week 27 when I'm going to be free hitting, and I did have James Ward-Prowse in there. It may end up being Brozier. I don't know if I'll double up on Southampton attack. They do have Norwich at home, but I don't know how heavy I'll go in on them. Yeah, let me show you my transfers. While I do it, please do like the stream and subscribe if you are new. We're trying to hit the next milestone during this stream. Let me look at, where do I go? Transfer history, down here. Does it tell me already? Yeah, cool. So, these here are my transfers. Let me highlight them for you. So we did Salah to, actually we'll highlight this one because it's difficult to read. All of the ones above this line. So we did Saka in for Bernardo Silva. I did that early in the game week. Did it, I think, on Saturday or maybe Sunday when there were price changes. I did that move early. Very happy I still made that move. Last night, I made 2 transfers. You can see the time I've made my transfers. I made 2 transfers at 11:30. I brought in Sarr for De Gea and I brought in Jimenez for Ronaldo. The second of those was a -4. And then at 20-1, when I still hadn't decided and I knew there was going to be price changes on both of them, I sold Jota and I brought Salah. And I made, I gained, I saved the money on Jota falling in price and I gained the money on Salah rising in price. KDB or Sterling, probably KDB long term, because once everyone's fit, there is a bit of rotation there. But Sterling's looked pretty good recently. If it's any given game week, like on a free hit, I'd probably own Sterling over De Bruyne, but long term, I'd probably own De Bruyne because of the minutes. Let me get my team back up. There we go. Who do I replace Antonio with? If you don't have Jimenez, I still think he's a really nice option because the double in... So they'd have a double this week, which is okay, but he has a double and Antonio doesn't. But then he doubles in game week 28 as well, with Palace and Watford at home, which is a great double game week, right? So I like Jimenez. Have you used your triple captain? So it's active this week on Salah. It was always going to be. There was no chance that I was going to move my triple captain off. Well, it was never active because I didn't have him in my team, but I had to go and buy him. You're going to go the other way by playing Cancelo. I don't think playing Cancelo is a issue at all, right? Cancelo is such a good option, but would you guys start Cancelo in my team? If you were in my situation and you had my team with Cancelo sat first on your bench, would you start him and who would you bench him for? Morning, Steve. How we doing? I understand that I could end up, with Cancelo keeping a clean sheet and scoring. It's very possible that could happen. And getting a 15-point haul, right? But where is he going to go? Where's he going to go in my starting lineup? My thoughts on Mane is I think there's too much of a risk of him not playing both in the double. So, yeah, that I wouldn't go buying him because of that. Start Cancelo or Foden? Probably Foden. Personally, I think he'll start, and I don't think... Sorry, Abir, I can't sort of go through whole teams. But you've got a lot of doublers in there. Mars is a good differential. Yeah, it looks fine. Did you hear someone in the top 15k triple captain Dennis? What, this week or when he got sent off? Cancelo over Dennis. Dennis is more likely to get a yellow twice. Watford are a defensive side. Yeah. Maybe. But I don't see that actually happening. I don't see myself... The only places that I could see myself benching are Bowen and Kilman, I think. The nice newest background is working. I'm glad. Yeah, moved it around a little bit. It's actually how it used to be, the layout of the stream. But would I take Jota out from -8 or bench him and play Rafinha? If you've got Salah and you've got Saka, then I wouldn't do it. If you don't have either of those options, then I would do it. Cancelo or Ramsey to start? Cancelo. Son to KDB from -4. Oh, I think you mean KDB to Son from -4. The reason I would say yes is because Spurs then double again in 28. I don't love that transfer for a -4, especially because I don't think Son will get anything against City. And KDB could needs to get something against Spurs, I suppose. But I don't necessarily think it's going to pay off as a -4. I would probably do it because of the double in 28 if it was me personally. But I could easily go and backfire. Dennis or Jimenez? Jimenez for sure. I've only got Dennis in my team still because he's got a double game week. If I have an opportunity to sell him, which I may well do, then I will sell him. So if we look at my team now, sorry, that's for game week 28. where there's another double game week, I'll probably end up lining up something like this. Like Fernandez to Coutinho is my planned move. And then I may do Dennis to Broja for a -4 if Broja plays in game week 30, because they need to lose in the cup. Then I think he'll play. And then that's my team for game week 28 with a -4. Gives me a decent amount of doublers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With then, sorry, I'd probably play Saka over Odegaard, but the following week would be something like this. You know, I've got Arsenal players to come back in. I don't know, something like this. Then I don't know, Bowen will make way, and like I've got so much money. Like I could bring Mane in, right, for his double game week, because I wouldn't have triple Liverpool anymore, and then I could have him for that week. So something like that is the plan. So I'm keeping Dennis until the first opportunity that I can sell him. But I'm waiting to see if Southampton get knocked out of the cup before I make that move, because if Southampton play in game week 30, then I like Broja as an option, but then he's not a top priority if he doesn't. If he doesn't, where will I end up going is a good question. If he doesn't double, I may end up going like Rafinha, but he doubles in 28, so that's not that helpful. I need someone who doubles in 29 and plays in 30, which is only Arsenal. So I may end up rolling the transfer then. Last year it was 3-0 to Man City at the Etihad against Spurs. Yeah, but Spurs, I don't know. I often get sort of dragged into laws of averages and stuff like that. My chair is sliding around today. I'm quite a numbers person. Mankandi, thank you very much. Welcome. Cancelo, Cash. Sorry, I'll go back to that. Ramsey and Ronaldo. Which 3 on the bench? I can't bench Ronaldo. Bench Ramsey, bench Cash. Like, I'd start Ronaldo out of all of them. I've lost my train of thought completely. Completely lost what I was talking about. Anyway. You own both Watford strikers. Again, like, I don't know who's on your bench, but I would probably play both this week. Villa away, Palace at home. Like, it's a good double game week. If that was for any other team, you wouldn't hesitate. It's just Watford haven't been that great, but they're going to have to score a goal at some point. They literally have to score at some point. Does Bowen really have a knock? Comment from Simply FPL. There are rumours of Bowen with a knock. We have absolutely nothing concrete to go on, or whether he has a knock. Oh, I was talking about Spurs and City. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I just go with laws of averages that, you know, after a couple of games of not scoring, I think the opportunity for Spurs to score goes up. They haven't performed very well in the past couple of games, and City has, and eventually these trends like have to come to an end. City are not going to not concede for the rest of the season. Spurs are not going to not score. So I know it's probably not flawed. It's probably flawed, but you know, if a player blanks, are they more likely to score the next week? I can see Spurs scoring this week, and I'm hoping that's the case. And if Spurs score, then I think I've made the right decision. But can you give any advice about working out a chip strategy? Yeah, so what I would do is, if you I suppose in working it out is your question. I would use this team, which is called this website, which is called FPL.team, and I would start looking at your team for future game weeks. You just put in your team ID, and you can look at your team for different game weeks by flicking ahead. I would have a look at what your team looks like for future game weeks. Maybe when you can optimize your chips, but maybe also when your team looks a bit weak. If you haven't wildcarded by game week 32, then I'd probably advise that's a good time to do it. Free hitting in game week 27 is a great opportunity to do it again. But use that site, sort of start looking at how your team fares for future weeks with transfers in mind. Van Dijk or Robertson, I've been asked this a lot. Maybe I'll put this on my common questions section. Let me go and, yeah, let me put it in here. Don't know where I'm going to do it. Here. Doesn't like symbols when I put. You sold Regulon for Tierney. I'm so happy. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sit here and be smug on Regulon, but it is a transfer that has ended up paying off very well for me. It could have gone so badly. Regulon should have scored in the game that I sold him in. Dean almost scored as well, but like if variance had gone the complete other way, we would have had a goal for Regulon, a blank for Dean, and yeah. And then Regulon doesn't get ill and he keeps his place because he's now scored and is suddenly looking much better. Play one, Brozier, Bowen, Cancelo. I'd probably play Bowen. Firmino is a differential this week and swap for Jimenez in 28 and free hit. That's not bad because I think there's a good chance Firmino plays both of the two, especially because there's meant to be an injury to Oxlade. Now, I don't know how serious that is and whether he'll come back in. But without Jota and without Oxlade, if that is the case, then it's difficult to see them who else they're going to put in the middle of the park. So if I look at the other forwards this week that I would probably back over Firmino, there's not many up there. Like, if you are going to sell him in 28 and you're not going to play him again after this week, and I was looking at forwards literally just for this week, let's have a look what Fantasy Football Hub predicts for forwards this week. He's predicted to be the highest scoring forward this week, so literally yes. Now, the only thing is he's only predicted to outscore Jimenez by just over a point. So if it's for a -4 further down the line, I'd probably just go straight to Jimenez. But he's predicted to be the highest scoring forward in the game this week. So, bench Watkins, Cancelo or Cucurella. Watkins for sure, because there's rumours that he doesn't start. Cancelo and Cucurella. I'd probably play Cancelo out of the two. Do I really need Son for this game week? I don't think you need Son at all. Again, if we have a look at predicted points by midfielders, Salah, Mane, he's up there with only 9.6 though, right? Saka at 8.7 and 8.2 for Zaha, costing a fraction of the price. It depends what you're doing in Gameweek 27 and onwards, but I'd probably go Saka before I went Son, to be honest, this week. Thank you all for watching. There are 260 of you in here with only 76 likes. If we could get that up to 100, only 20 needed. We're also aiming for 15 3/4 subscribers, and we only need one more. I'm sure there's at least one person in here who's not subscribed, so if we could find that person and you could subscribe, that'd be great. What I wouldn't give for Salah 100 minutes this game week. Are you triple captioning, Sam? I didn't catch enough of your stream, but I presumed you were. You have doubled us up on Southampton and Brozier and James Ward-Prowse. Good idea. It's fine. I think next week when they have Norwich at home, you'll probably come in quite well with those two. And then they double in 28. They don't, it's not the best this week when they just play one fixture against Everton, but next week and the week after, it's very good. Triple captain Salah, yeah. So I've taken on -8 this week. Made 4 transfers, so very happy that I rolled my free transfers over, and I had those 2 free transfers because I made rolled 2 free transfers, so I made 4 transfers. Welcome Byron, thank you for subscribing. Saar came in for De Gea. Now I don't necessarily think that that makes me many points this week because I could have played Foster, but it pays off going for the long term. I brought in Jimenez, I brought in Salah, and I brought in Saka. All moves I think will pay off. I am still playing Fernandes away at Leeds. I think he's the highest scoring single game week player this week, maybe. Or maybe double game week player. Maybe he's the highest single game week player or any single game week midfielder. I think he might be the highest single game week. I don't know if Ronaldo is higher than him. It's going to be impossible to find him. But yeah, he's up there with like some of the double game week players, so I'm quite happy with that. Are the stats looking any better for Dennis lately? Nope. Not really. They look very poor going forward, Watford. I'm not hopeful. If I get a single return from Dennis, like, I'll be happy. Sorry, my alarm is going off. Give me 1 second. We're back. Sorry, my alarm to get me up in the morning when I'm not streaming at the weekend went off. Brought in Aït-Nouri on the wildcard and now not even playing in this game week. Predicted points way less than Cancelo. Is Kilman's less than Cancelo? What site do you use for predicted points? That's probably because it includes rotation, right? What site do you use for your predicted points? We get 6.1 from Kilman. Gets 4.8 from Cancelo. What's Aït-Nouri predicted? It's a minutes thing, isn't it? Because on here, Aït-Nouri's predicted to outscore him. Start Broja or Cancelo. I play Cancelo. I don't. I don't normally. It doesn't. Well, I'm up, aren't I? Yeah, it's rotation. Fine. What does it say about Sam? I don't have it. What does it say about Kilman then? Like, if you take a nailed Wolves defender, like, if you put Cancelo versus Kilman, who does it say to start? We can also look on here as well. I use these two. Oh, don't want to show you my login details. That's for sure. Let me hide that 1 sec while I log in. I'll be interested to know, is it just a rotation thing or does it actually want like me to bench Kilman, for example? Bro, can I go for Salah and Mane instead of Son? Yeah, absolutely. I would probably prefer those two options to Son. Cool. So let me look at predicted points. Should I take out Bruno? You have Salah, Trent, Robbo. Don't have Saka. No Wolves, Arsenal goalkeeper. If you can do Bruno to Saka, I quite like. The reason for it is because he doubles later down the line. I don't necessarily think there'll be that much in it this week. But if it's for... If you can do like Bruno to Saka, I probably would. Right. What does this say? Let's just put defenders in and see what it says. Kilman is... Sorry, you've just filtered by Gameweek26. Kilman is a 6.8. And then... Let's just search for... Aït-Nouri is a 5.2. Cancelo here is lower on fixed. So it seems to be only Scout that's predicting it. It's probably the rotation thing, but I think we'll start both. How am I doing? Just got here. Welcome. How are you doing? Thank you for anyone who's joining. Bro, can it go Salah and Mane? Yes. Yeah, you can. Come on. Let me change, put slow mode on. Just a little one so we don't get copy and paste. Cool. Let me flick that back. You reckon Aït-Nouri starts both? Yeah. I personally do, but I don't see Johnny coming back in, and I just don't think Marçal was very good. I'm pretty sure he favours Aït-Nouri out of the two. And I think that game will have reminded him to do it. That's my opinion. I think I would probably start Aït-Nouri over him. personally. Maybe I'll bottle it and play 8 Nori. Let me see what my predicted lineup thread said. I can't remember. Let me check what Piladaba said. In fairness, your advice on Dean and Foden worked wonders. So yeah, listen to me. Exactly. I've given you a lot of good advice recently. Let me just check. I think he's predicting 8 Nori twice, but do what you want, right? Don't listen to me. But I would start 8 Nori. My tea is cold now. Cancelo or Dean to start? I'd probably say Cancelo. Take Watkins out this week for a -8. I mean, can he not sit on your bench if you've not got someone that you can just play over him? I don't love him as an option this week, but I have to be right eventually. Yeah, just like Spurs have to score eventually, right? Man City have to concede eventually. It's all written in the stars. Show King and Dennis predicted points. We'll start with... can I search by team? Yeah. Watford. 8.2 for King. Dennis, 8. So they're basically predicted to get an assist. Play both games and get an assist. And then on here, I don't know if we can search by forward. No. Dennis is predicted 6 and King is predicted 5.9. For a double game week, that's very low. Is this Dennis's last game week in your team? Maybe you should play him. He's likely to be his last game week in my team if Southampton get through in the cup. If Southampton don't get through in the cup, then I'm probably going to end up... I might not move to Broja, but I might. This is FPL team. Literally FPL.team. What was the other question? Predicted points for Firmino. Firmino's getting 10.5 there. I'm pretty sure he's the highest predicted. 10.2 there. I'm pretty sure he's the highest predicted forward this week. 10.2 is the highest on Hub. Let's check here as well. Yeah, highest on both. Highest predicted scoring forward this week, Firmino. Salah apparently rested in one of the matches for the cup. Yeah, but I'm still happy. If he starts one game and plays 20 minutes in the other one, I'll still take him. I still think there's a good chance he gets triple captain. I want 10 points minimum, right? And if he plays one game, I'd still back him to get those 10 points. So predicted for Cancelo and 8 Nori. These two sites predict Cancelo to be outscored by 8 Nori. Start Cancelo or Soufal. Sorry, let me put them all in. This is saying play Cancelo. Would I bench Olise for Cancelo or Dean? No, I'd probably play Cancelo. Sorry, I definitely wouldn't play Dean. I'd potentially play Cancelo, but I'd probably just play Olise if it was me. I'd play the double game week player. What's the latest on the Storm? It's pretty clear out there now. The Storm in the UK is, again, we can get up the Met Office. We'll have a look at the weather warning, but I'm pretty sure that the weather warnings in the UK have gone. UK weather warnings issued. Yellow, it's gone down to yellow from all the way up at red. So, games don't get cancelled on yellow weather warnings. It needs to be at least amber. So, and it's only going down, right? So, I wouldn't worry too much about that now. If you're worried about the games for making transfers, I wouldn't worry too much. You have Son, but still playing Cancelo over Antonio. That's fine. Talk FPL stuff, sorry. Yeah, rather than talking the weather. Interesting. What's the site for planning future FPL game? It's called FPL.team. So, Antonio out for Weghorst. I prefer other forwards, but if you need him for next game week as well, then you can. Prefer Jimenez though. Out of Dennis, Antonio and Watkins, who do I get rid of for Jimenez? Antonio. Only one who doesn't double, while all the others double twice in the next 3 weeks. Yeah. Or double once at least. Yeah. Antonio. Morning, Quarry. How are we doing? Zaha or Rafinha? Rafinha. The reason for it is he doubles again and then he plays in game week 30. So long term, I think he's a better transfer in. Can Diaz come on for Jota or just go safe with Saka? I'd go safe with Saka because I don't think you're actually going safe with Saka. I think Saka's a better pick by far. Predicted points for Bruno and Saka next 2 game weeks. I can have a look. I'm not going to just keep going. If people want to look at like their teams as simply FPL does, like I'm happy to do predicted points comparisons, but these are not things I'll just do all the time in the chat. If people super chat and stuff like that, then fine. King or Coutinho? I'd play King, but I'm such a double game week fiend, as I've said. Like I'm always playing the double game week player in a situation where it's tight like that. I always chase the upside. I'd always chase the upside on it. Game week 26 and game week 27, your top scoring players look like this. If we look by midfield, Salah still top. Fernandes outscores Saka quite considerably. What's it predicted? Hang on. Did I miss him? Yeah, what's his total points? Oh, it's because 8.7 over the 2. Cool, he's lower down. But yeah, he's predicted to not be out, to Bruno to be the better option of the 2. Why is everyone doing triple captain? Because Salah has the 2 best games you could possibly want. Don't see any Bowen bench rumours on Twitter. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Everyone owns him. And if he doesn't play, we've all got such strong benches. So this is not a wildcard team, no. So I'm playing my triple captain. You can't play two chips in the same week. So yeah, triple captain is active. I took a -8 this week. What's my Bruno plan after this game week? Yeah, so I was going to sell him this week, but when Jota got injured, I had to keep him. Which is fine. I'm going to sell him probably going into either game week 28 or game week 29. Like, if he doesn't get sold in 28, he's just going to be on my bench that week. It's just whether I sell him or Bowen that week. It'll probably be Fernandes to Coutinho for that week, so... Cody, Jimenez or Robertson for a -8. I mean, I don't know who's leaving your team. A Wolves defender in for a -4 is not that great this week, but it probably benefits your team long term. The others in are good. I don't know if Robertson's going to play both games, so that would be my major concern, right? Is that we only get one start for Robertson. If Liverpool didn't double this game week, any other triple captain options? Well, you can triple captain them in game week 29 when Liverpool double again. You could triple captain an Arsenal player. Like, I think Ramsdale will score really well this week. I don't think if Salah didn't double, I don't think a Ramsdale triple captain is the most stupid idea at all. Where's your plan for my 2 free hits? I'll play one next week and I'll have videos up on free hit drafts at least by latest tomorrow evening. And then the other one, I'm pushing down the road a little bit. Maybe game week 33, but I don't know how big a double that's going to be now. So Jota and DCL out for Saka and Firmino. Yeah, I would 100% do that. No Son. No, I just don't love the Spurs double game week at all. Away fixtures to City and Burnley, who are two very tight teams at the moment. So yeah, I don't love the Spurs fixtures. I was going to go for other options before I went with Son, and then Jota got injured and I didn't have to make that choice. But what's my plan for this game week? Just to reiterate, it will be a triple captain this week, free hit 27, free transfers up until game week 31, and then I'll probably wildcard 31, bench boost and free hit after that at some point. Why are some people not triple captaining Salah? I don't quite know. I think people worry that he's not going to get enough minutes, but I still think if he plays one game, then I still back him to get enough points to make it viable. People don't have it left. People want to go differential. I don't love it. The Storm, I don't think the Storm's going to cancel any games now. That being said, there was a car alarm going off outside, and I hope that's just someone's car alarm going off, as they do sometimes, rather than it being caused by a tree or something like that. Kilman, Saiss or Semedo. If you could afford Saiss, I'd go for him. If you can't, then I would go with I'd go with Semedo. And Kilman's fine, he's the one I've got, but I only went for him because he was the cheapest and he was the only one that I could afford. So cheers, John. Thank you for joining the stream and as a member. Punt on Diaz, but yes, he's in the league lineup, the predicted lineup, but he's not going to be starting both, right? I can't see him start both these games. He may end up doing so, but I'll then be stuck with him long term, which I don't want. So, who would I bench of Coutinho, Cancelo, and Bowen? Coutinho, Cancelo, and Bowen. I would probably bench. I mean, I'm going Cancelo because of the way that my team is set up. So, why have you overlooked Man City completely? Good question, to be honest. I can't see myself starting Cancelo because predicted points sites are saying that I shouldn't start him. That he is predicted to score less than everyone else I'm starting at the moment. I don't have De Bruyne in my midfield because I didn't think he'd start the last game, which he didn't. And I've just focused on the double game weeks. My transfers, I've taken a -8, made 4 transfers, so 2 free transfers and 2 -4s. Sarr came in for De Gea. Salah came in for Jota. Jimenez came in for Ronaldo. And Saka came in for Bernardo Silva. So those were my transfers. Pretty pleased with how they went. Should I transfer Foster to Ramsdale for a hit? Yeah, I would do that. I think Ramsdale, again, not to go back to the predicted point sites, but this week, Ramsdale is... I did almost consider going Alisson this week, but I didn't think he outscored Sarr by an extra -4. Yeah, Ramsdale, 8.7, Foster, 7. Long term, it will pay off again. I think, personally, but... Morning, Jaden. How are we doing? You never dropped me a message on Twitter after last stream, so drop me a DM. Firmino or Lacazette? Lacazette is a better long-term pick. I'd go Lacazette. You did a -24 today. Bold. I've seen other people doing it, but I don't think it's completely ridiculous. Wow. I wouldn't really want to go past a -12, if I'm honest. I wouldn't want to go past a -12. I'm on a -8. Oh, Jaden, if you use Instagram, drop me a DM on there instead. That's fine. I'd go Lacazette, just because he's a better long-term pick. Odegaard or Smith Rowe. The thing with the Arsenal mids, right, is I think we will get a midfield for Arsenal that is Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, and then Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka. So the reason I would go Odegaard is because I think he plays both. But if any of those other wingers played twice, I would go with them over Odegaard. It's only that Martinelli's suspended. Shall I ditch Ronaldo? I have. I'm very happy that I've finally got rid of him. He'll probably go and score a hat-trick today, but I can't see his ownership being higher than like 15% this week. So I don't think it'll do us much damage if he does well. Start Broja or Mopai. I'd probably go Broja, to be honest. It's a better fixture. Should I take a hit, Edouard, to Jimenez? It depends if it would be... When 29 comes around, if you would have been doing a hit anyway to do that move, then I would do it. If it would be free in 28, then I wouldn't do it. But that probably means you probably should do it because it'll benefit you down the line. This is the thing about my team this week, is that I've taken a -8 and I got triple Wolves this week, which is not ideal. But when it gets to like game week 28, I'll be in a better position than other people who haven't played made these transfers early and will be, taking hits to maybe get in a Wolves defensive option, for example. The world number one. Yeah. Wait, are you triple captaining Salah? Yeah. Yes, I am. Tierney or Saka? I would probably start out of the two. Tierney or Saka. I think Tierney's got a higher ceiling this week. I just like the Arsenal clean sheets. I don't necessarily think the predicted points agree with me. If I had to buy one this week, and if it was for this week only, I'd probably go Tierney. But if it's for the long term, I'd go Saka. The reason for it is their doubles until the game week 29 much favour an attacking option over a defensive option. Can you go through your thought process? Welcome to the stream. Why triple captaining him? It's not a particularly in detail or complicated strategy. It's that, he has a double game week against the two worst defences in the league. He'll want to be getting in form. He's one goal away from his next 150 goals in the Premier League or something. Klopp said he wants him to get it at the weekend. So, Mane to start both. I cannot say with any confidence that any Liverpool option starts both games. Firmino's probably up there at the top for me at the moment. But when in Wildcard or Bench Boost, Wildcard and Bench Boost will be later in the season. Hey Harry, White, Kilman, Coutinho or Tierney saves Ramsey? That's a good one. I'd probably go Tierney saves Ramsey, to be honest. It's close though. I would probably go with them. His predicted points, if you don't have Salah, you don't want to see his predicted points. He's predicted to score 18.5 points this week, which would triple it up to sort of 50 points or so. Reguilon is not confirmed out, no. We are 40 subscribers away from today's target of 15.8k subscribers. So I'm sure there is 40 of you in here who are not subscribed. Please could you, just help us hit these milestones. It'd be really appreciated. And we'll get back to answering all of your questions as well. I can undo triple captain if I decided not to, but anyone in here who's not subscribed, I'm sure there are 40 of you. Who are the best Jota and Maddison replacements when you already have Coutinho? Saka. Saka is the top priority one for me. So, you're going to try and accommodate Salah now, but I haven't done any transfers. I'm not sure if I'm going to triple captain him. I would still want to get him in. I don't think Robertson will play 2 games. All out on Arsenal players. I am indeed. Including the vice triple captaincy on Saka. In case the Liverpool games get called off. Or should I have it on Trent? Could Could you imagine though? What's more likely? Salah suddenly doesn't play either game, and Liverpool's game goes ahead, or both Liverpool's games get cancelled. What's my best midfield 5 on a wildcard? If I wildcarded, a team that like this would be exactly what I went with. This is FPL TT on Twitter. Will Bernardo Silva start? Probably. I don't see any reason to think he doesn't start. You might wildcard because otherwise you're minus 12 or 16, maybe even 20 or 24. Minus 12 is okay. If you're getting up to minus 20, then maybe. Antonio to Jimenez for a minus 4. Yeah. Long term it will pay off, right? I don't necessarily think it will pay back the minus 4 straight away this week, but I think long term it will. So I would take the chance that it does this week. Will Alanga start? That's quite a tough one. I don't know. Mahmood, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I probably would guess Alanga doesn't, that it's Rashford, Sancho again. But Mane over Salah? No, I don't think so. Salah has less competition for his place. You think St. Maximin is a good option on wildcard? The reason for having St. Maximin... The reason of having St. Maximin on wildcard, for example, is they double in 28 and 29. Where have you seen that Palace lineup, Sam? And who is it? I imagine it's Elise and Edouard, both not starting, or one of them? Which site this is? This is just twitter.com. This is the Fantasy Premier League website. These predicted points are from Fantasy Football Hub. There's a link in the description if you want to sign up to it. And it will give you 10% off, I think. Let me get my team back up. Oh, you retweeted. God, you become such a Twitter lover now, haven't you? Oh, you don't want to share it in here. You want everyone. Oh wow. Who's JP? I'll put it up on screen. Let me put it up on screen. I don't know if it's legit, right? But let's have a look. The issue is if you've got Palace options, you didn't necessarily want them to play this week. This is not necessarily legit, right? Just going to have a look. People are... Apparently other reliable sources are saying something similar. Oh, don't go making transfers off the back of this, but who's JP? Oh, Mateta. Wilf, are you... Of course, we can't start... They can't start Gallagher against Chelsea. Interesting. I don't know whether it's true. I'm not going to keep it up on stream. But... would be interesting if that is the case. But your Palace options, you want them for Watford. So if they don't start Chelsea, they're going to start Watford, right? You'd rather it be that way round than them start today and gets benched versus Watford. So yes, it looks bad, but if that is the case, start 2 out of the following. Peter says, Lamptey, Dean, Foden or Brozier. Dean would go straight on my bench. I'd probably bench Brozier out of the rest, but it's close between him and Lamptey. This chair. I'm sure you will care so much. Finally, over the next month, going to be redoing, because I use the same desk for working from home, like my work and when I do YouTube as well. when I stream from my laptop, and I have one monitor, which is why I'm always peering round to try and see. And it also means that my laptop battery drains while I'm streaming. But I am finally, over the next month, going to be upgrading. I'm going to get a bigger desk than this little one, which is just covered in stuff. And I'm also getting a new monitor, which is fantastic. Got this very fancy one. Let me get it. Look at this. It's not all going to fit in the camera. It's like this monitor stand where it's not going to clutter up my desk. I'm going to have 2 monitors as well. Really upgraded, I think. We'll see. I need to go and get the other monitor this weekend from somewhere, but I don't know. Saka for Gallagher. Yeah, I would probably do that. Either Antonio to Jimenez or Rudiger to Robertson, Cody. Which one? I do Antonio to Jimenez. Because there's a chance Robertson doesn't play both. I don't love the Cody option fixtures this week. Rudiger could double in 28 still. I'd probably wait. Jimenez out. Jimenez or Edouard this week? Jimenez. Is it worth taking a -12 to bring Ramsdale, Sontini, Saka? Yeah, again, I don't know who you're selling, but the players you're bringing in are good. I don't love your... I'm not a big fan of Spurs personally, but... Oh. I saw someone say it in the chat and I thought they were joking. When I pulled up that free hit team, it had St. Maximin in, but he's been ruled out literally 10 minutes ago. He's likely to be missing for 2-3 weeks, which could mean he misses part of the double game week. So I probably wouldn't own him. I may go Chris Wood or something, or I would go somewhere else. Replace De Gea or Reguilon for -4. Got Cucurella bench. Probably replace De Gea. The long-term keeper transfer is great because Ramsdale and Sarr have good long-term fixtures. Play Dawson or Cancelo. Without St. Maximin, I'd probably still go Cancelo, but without St. Maximin for Newcastle, then Dawson becomes a better option. Man City clean sheet is possible, right? And I've got Cancelo first on my bench. It would be painful, I know. What does the star? Oh, Kings of the Season. Yeah, he could easily do well this week. My bench is going to score 20 points. I'm fully expecting that to happen, but I just don't know which decisions I'm necessarily making wrong. Dawson to Semedo or Mopai to Jimenez? Sorry, I'm so confused. The same question has been asked twice in the chat, directly above and below each other, by in theory 2 different people. But is that the same person on 2 different accounts? Because if it is, I'm going to answer your question, because that is big grind to get 2 different accounts to try and get your question answered. And I'd love to know if it is, or is that just a coincidence that 2 people are wondering if they should do exactly the same thing at exactly the same time? I would do... I do Mopai to Jimenez personally. Yeah, it's the different capital letters that have thrown me off, but keep up the good work. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. Always likely to answer questions that start with a compliment. Always. Van Dijk or Firmino, wildcarding 28. Van Dijk or Firmino, wildcarding 28. If you're wildcarding 28, I want to say Firmino, but I think probably Van Dijk's the safer pick of the 2. You can get any goalkeeper. Who'd you get? Sarr or Ramsdale? If you've got the Arsenal slot, go Ramsdale. If you don't, then go Sarr. Bernardo, yeah, Bernardo, Saka, Jota, Salah, Ronaldo, Jimenez, De Gea, De Sar. That is correct. All for a -8. Yeah. What are my thoughts on alleged Liverpool rotation? Yeah, it may well happen, right? But like Trent may get a rare bench. Yeah, but everyone has Trent, and Trent will be over 100% ownership. So I hope Trent gets benched. It's one of those ones where, yeah, he's owned by so many. He will be captained by people as well. That if Trent gets benched, then fine. But Salah may get it as well. Here we go. Great hair. Thank you. Trent, Salah, and Mane, or Trent, Robbo, and Salah. I wouldn't have Mane on my wildcard because I think you'll just want to end up selling him. But my worry is Robertson doesn't play both as well. I'd go Robertson over I went Mane unless you had a clear route in maybe 28. Like what you're gonna do with if I'd probably go Robertson. Jota to Saka or Odegaard's Saka. Saka is my best Arsenal. So look at the Jota replacements on the other side of the screen. Saka is my number one pick. Is that even? Can you read that? Can you read that? Did I hear you correctly when you said you can undo the triple captain like 10 minutes ago? No, I won't. But someone asked if you can. I hope that's not what my stream looks like. Oh, it's because it's on low quality on my phone. Let me turn it up. Is Weghorst fit to play? Yeah, I think he should be fine. He'll definitely be fit for the second game. Should be fine for the first game as well. Those if I make it. What have I done? What have I done? Oh no. How do I shrink this? Ah! Don't try and do things live on stream. I'm hoping that might make it a little bit better quality because it looks really blurry on my stream. Anyway, we're back. We hit 100 likes. Thanks, guys. How are we doing on the subscriber count? Reguilon to Burnley or Wolverhampton defender. I'd go to a Wolves option. Sent Maximin out for a few weeks, which again, Diaz to Robertson for a -4. My again issue is I don't think Robertson plays both for a long-term transfer. I think it will probably pay off, but that's if you want to keep him long-term, then yeah, I think it's a fine move. I think I told my brother to do that move this week as well, actually. So I probably would do that. Give me 1 second. Cool. Ramsey to Odegaard for a -8. Probably not. I don't love Odegaard this week. I just don't. Well, I imagine it's a -4, like the additional transfer. I probably wouldn't do that. Smith Rowe or Odegaard. I'd go Odegaard over Smith Rowe because I don't think Smith Rowe starts both this week, and I definitely don't think he starts both in the next double as well. Out of the Wolves defence, I'd probably go Semedo first, Saiss first, Semedo second, then Cody and Kilman. Flip a coin. Is Jimenez essential on wildcard? I don't think he's essential. I think he's one of the better options because of his double this week and because of the double in 28 that you can see there from FPL Focal's graphic. I wouldn't worry too much about if you don't have him this week. I don't, forwards in this game at the moment are all pretty poor. So I think he stands out as being sort of the best of a bad bunch. But if I don't wildcard now, When should I? Game week 31. You have 7 double game week players and all chips available. I wouldn't worry. Don't panic. I'm in a similar situation. I am 14k, got all my chips available. I would probably wildcard in... I'm wildcarding in game week 31, I think. Either get Ramsdale for Sanchez or Jimenez for Antonio. Both are transfers that I would make. I'd make both, if I'm honest. If you can make both for a -4, I would do it. Should I wildcard because my transfers are -40? Yeah. If you want a -40, please wildcard. Demonic, thank you very much for the super chat. You didn't add a question, so feel free to write your question in the actual chat, and I will pick it out and I will answer it. So, do I play Cancelo or Rafinha? I'd play Rafinha personally. -8 for Antonio to Laka. I probably would. Well, it's a -4, right? Unless it's 2 transfers, but I think it's just one. I'd do it for a -4. Yeah, it's just 1 transfer. Then yeah, I would do it. Elise to Saka will be a -8. Now it depends how much you want to believe that news. I probably would do it. Personally, I think I would. Rather triple captain Trent or Salah. You're buzzing out. I'm going Salah because I think there's equal chance that Trent doesn't play than Salah does. But Salah can come off the bench and do something off the bench, whereas Trent is unlikely to come off the bench. So and Salah against Leeds, like the Leeds fixture is much better for Salah than it is for Trent because Leeds will want to score goals. We know that's what they do, but they also concede goals, which is better for Salah. I think it stands out as being better for Salah for me, but play Smith Rowe or Cancelo. I'd play Smith Rowe. The reason for it, if it was Martinelli, I'd choose Cancelo, but I think Smith Rowe will play this game, the Brentford game, which is the better fixture of the two for an Arsenal attacker, whereas Martinelli, I think, will play the second game once he comes back, but I'd start Edouard over Antonio. No worries, guys. Yeah, thank you to all of you watching. How are we doing on the old subscriber race? Well, we haven't gained. We gained 2. Am I locked in? I think I wouldn't say I'm locked in, but the thing is with these streams, I spend so little time looking at my team, that I'm not going to change it, I don't think. I would not say locked in, but I'd say I'm 90% there. Cash or Cancelo? I'd play Cancelo. On wildcard, do I keep Bowen or transfer for Rafinha? I'd probably sell Bowen, to be honest, if I was on a wildcard this week. It's painful, but between now and game week 30, you don't need him. Best striker to get this week. Best striker to get this week. Lacazette or Firmino probably, or Jimenez. It depends how short term or long term you want it. Long term changes the order and it probably goes Jimenez, Lacazette, Firmino. But short term it probably goes, for just this game week, it's probably the opposite way around. It's probably Firmino, Lacazette, Jimenez. Just joined. Why Van Dijk over Robertson? Because I don't think Robertson plays both of the 2 games this game week. -4. I wouldn't sell Dennis or King to Jimenez for a -4 this week. No. Play Bowen or Edouard this week. I'd play Bowen, I think. But I'm such a double game week. But the issue is the so-called leaked team sheet for for Palace doesn't have Edouard in. Now, if I didn't have that, I probably would go the other way. But now that if that is the case, then it is a single game week against a single game week, which in that case I would go Bowen. But it depends how much you want to believe that. how many hits would I take before I play my wildcard? I probably would... It depends. It's partly driven by strategy. I probably would wildcard if I got up to minus 16. If I took 2 more transfers, I'd probably wildcard. But which starting goalkeeper to put in for any price? Ramsdale. And if you have triple Arsenal already, then Jose Sarr of Wolves. But those are the top 2. Should I play Ramsey, Cancelo or Reguilon? I would play... I'd probably play Cancelo. I'd be tempted to take the risk on the Reguilon news not being true and playing him, but I would probably play Cancelo. Why am I not answering your question? Right, let me slow down the chat a little bit more. Very slightly. Because there's so much, I do my best to read all of the questions. I'm not ignoring anyone in particular, I promise. What time is it? 29 past. Cancelo, Bernardo Silva or Edouard? To play this week, probably Cancelo now. Either get Ramsdale for Sanchez or Jimenez for Antonio. You can't do both. Ramsdale then. Start Cancelo or Luca Dean. I'd start Cancelo. Play Ramsey or Edouard. Both play Watford. Yeah. I'd go Edouard. What to do with Jota? You got your top replacements on the other side of the screen. I would probably sell him. If it was me personally, that's what I decided to do. Play either Cancelo or Soufal. I'd play Cancelo out of the 2 of those. Let me have a... I'm tiring. Do I think Van Dijk outscores Watkins by more than 4? Yeah, I probably would say so. Start Dean or Brozier. Probably Brozier. I just don't back. Aston Villa defensively is just something I find it really difficult to get behind. I would start Cancelo over Dean and Cucurella. Why didn't I not put Mane on my list? Just because long term I don't love the budget being invested in him. So I've gone with cheaper options really. Like it's a lot of money you need to have spare. Gamers Hub, thank you. Stebby, thank you guys for subscribing. You don't even think Watkins will start. Ings might. Well, this is the thing. This is why I don't back. In any situation, I would probably be benching. And why he's last on my bench. Do I think Bruno to Son -4 is worth it? No, definitely not. I absolutely wouldn't be doing that. No. Gallagher or Laporte. I'd probably play Gallagher out of the 2. It's close though. Because Gallagher will start Watford, right? Whereas Laporte has just Spurs. And I'm kind of hoping that they score Spurs. But Jota, KDB, Antonio to Weghorst, Salah and Son. Jota, KDB, Antonio out. Fine. Yeah, I quite like those moves. Yeah. Thanks always for the stream. Enjoy the rest of your weekend after stream. Cheers, Bella. I hope you have enjoyed. Anyone heading off, we're staying around until the deadline, but anyone who is going, I appreciate it. Thank you. You have Salah, Trent, Lloris, King as my doublers with 2 frees. Like, you got 2 frees. You can take a -8 and get up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up to 7 doublers. That's probably what I would do. But depends how, like, who those doublers are and who you could get to. But I think you could do... I think you could do it for a hit. Peter, no worries, heading to bed. Yes, thank you for watching, guys. Pavan, this is a -8 that I took, so is it worth it for a -8? Sorry, no. Who should I sell for Regulon? You already get Wolves defender and Ramsdale. I'd double up on Arsenal defence if you can. Or I'd double up on Wolves defence again. Because going forward, these are good options to have. How much left in the bank? I don't actually know the answer to that question. 1.5 mil now. Do I play Brozier, Dean Laporte or Gallagher? I quite like Gallagher against Watford, but maybe Brozier. Maybe Brozier out of that lot. Diaz or Ramsey to start. If you've got Cancelo in your starting lineup, then I'd probably go Ramsey. Bench order out of Soufal, Livramento, DCL. I don't even know who have Everton got. Away at Southampton. Livramento, Soufal, DCL probably. No, Soufal, Livramento, DCL. Have you heard about the Palace league lineup? I have indeed heard about the Palace leaked lineup. Yes. Wait and see. Yeah. Whether it turns out to be the case. I don't know how reliable they are as sources in general. "15th time of asking triple captain Firmino thoughts. I don't hate it, but I don't know why you do it over Salah personally. I just still think Salah is the best triple captain option this week for me. Would I swap Ben Davies for Tierney for a hit? Yeah, I think I probably would. Play Edouard or Brozier or Veltman or Mopai. Play Edouard or Veltman or Mopai or Edouard. I'd probably play now. I'd still probably play Edouard, to be honest, out of those. You don't have a single game week that I love. Last question. Either play with a -4 and have 7 doublers, but 1 is ASR, or Wildcard. There's a lot of... If you can get... a good wildcard out in the next 25 minutes, then I would do it. Thank you, Joe, for subscribing. But I would probably look at a wildcard. I think the wildcard this week is a good strategy for anyone who's anyone's squad it works well with, and anyone who needs to attack the next few weeks. I would probably look at it. The wildcards I'm seeing flying around are good squads. Right. Have a quick breather from questions. Joe, who just subscribed, Jota, Dean and De Gea to Robertson, Ramsey and Jose Sarr for a -8. Yeah, I quite like those. You know, Dean out is not necessarily something I love, but I think the transfers overall probably pay off. Right. So. Let me refresh this and we'll start having a look at some of the upcoming doubles and stuff. My transfer moves, well, we're going to go through them. FPL team is struggling. If I had to bring in one, as it says on the other side, Saka is my number 1 Arsenal pick. My transfers this week, Sarr came in for De Gea, Salah came in for Jota, Saka came in for Bernardo Silva, and Jimenez came in for Ronaldo. That's who was left. Who left my team. Any changes to that, man? Drink some water. You seem tired. I drank my glass of water and I drank my cup of tea as well. But I've been live for... It says an hour and 11 minutes, but it's been longer than that, no? Unless it crashed and I didn't realise. Yeah, an hour 39. I've been live for a long time, so I've run out of liquids. I might go and get some in a minute, but we're fine for the moment. Cool. Replace De Gea or Reguilon for -4. Got Cucurella on the bench. Probably De Gea, because De Gea out. I'd even consider doing both. I'd probably consider doing both, but the De Gea transfer out is beneficial long term. How long ago did I start doing YouTube? This is my second full FPL season. I did, I think, a couple of seasons before that where I did a tiny little bit, like streams and stuff, but no videos. So I think this is my second full season, or is it my third? I think it's my second. I would pick still Saka over Odegaard, as it says on the far side. Let me have a look. Yeah. Yeah. Regulon sell for me, I agree. I'd probably be selling him. I sold him a few weeks ago, and I'm quite happy about that decision. Would I rather choose Saka or Ramsdale as vice captain? If I had Ramsdale, it'd probably be on Ramsdale. Kilman over Saiss. No, if you have the money. I didn't have the money when I made the transfer last week. I have the money now, but I'm not upgrading him. I would go Saiss over Kilman. I'd go Saiss as my number one Wolves option. I would also go Semedo next if you don't quite have the money, and then I'd probably go Kilman or Cody. It's quite close between the two of them. Latest news says Maximin out for now, it seems. Yeah, it is true. Well, it's come from like quite a reliable looking source, so I have no reason to believe that it's not true. Gallagher or Lamptey first sub? Lamptey, because Gallagher's fixture against Watford, they've looked much better defensively recently. So I'd probably go Gallagher on the bench and start and well, Gallagher further back and have Lamptey as your further ahead pick. Should you bench boost Foden, Brozier, Sanchez, Geltart? No, definitely not. I'd triple captain, much better option than that bench. I wouldn't bench boost even if I wasn't triple captaining with that. Transfer out Watkins or hold for the upcoming double game week? I'd probably hold him. The issue is you might not start both in the double, but I don't know who'd be selling him for. Like if you're selling him for Jimenez, I'll probably do it, but apart from that, I probably wouldn't. We've got 20 minutes. We've got 20 minutes left. Yeah, anyone who's playing like chips this week, please make sure that you go and see that they are actually activated. Like, that they are actually, like, you haven't just clicked it and not click save. Like, go and refresh your team and make sure that that triple captain is still there. Because I can guarantee we will see people after the deadline who say, I triple captain Salah, but it didn't save, or things like that. Like, go and make sure that your things are, your chips are saved, please. Just took a -12 for Saka. Thing is, you've got to look at each hit in isolation. So, Sarr or Ramsdale. Ramsdale, he's a better option than Sarr, but I couldn't get him because I already had triple Arsenal in White, Saka, Odegaard. If I'd have not made that early transfer, I still would have gone Saka, I think, because Saka is the main midfield man out of the lot of them. Play Diaz or Luka Dean. I would probably go... I'd go Dean, probably. Slightly more attacking, well, more attacking threat than you get with Diaz. Could triple captain Trent be worth it rather than Salah? No, because I think there's equal reason that they both don't start. So no, any reason you bench Cancelo considering City's form? I just don't know where I would start him if I'm honest. Annie Rude, I don't know where he fits in my. I wonder if he outscores Kilman. But I'm taking my chances that Arsenal Wolves game finishes 0-0, for example. I reckon I'll have points on my bench, and I understand it, but I just don't see where in my starting 11 I end up putting Cancelo. If you have an option, you think in my team that you think you could start Cancelo, where you would start Cancelo, then let me know. But Yeah, make your transfers now as well. There are a lot of wildcards active, so there's going to be a lot of people going close to the deadline, I think, with theirs. So Saiss or Kilman? Saiss, number 1 Wolves defender for me. Antonio, Reguilon for Saiss. Jimenez, yes, I would definitely do those. Dean or Ramsey? Or Cancelo to play. I'd probably play Cancelo out of those ones. I don't fancy Dean. Brave if you trust Dennis. Well, I could start Cancelo over Dennis. Cancelo or Bowen bench. So I'm on Bowen starting. That's what I'm doing in my team. Let's see. I'm just going to type a poll in. A poll. Cool. Let me throw that poll. I might even ask it on Twitter as well. See what people are saying. I don't think I'm going to change it now, but let me hide that poll. Let's see what you guys are going to say. Cool. Start Cancelo or Reguilon? I play Reguilon, but I don't think he'll play this week because I think he's out. Best Burnley assets: Weghorst up front, Cornet in midfield, and then you've got some of the Pope and Tarkowski. Start. You brought Mane. I don't think he's a bad punt this week. I worry if he doesn't play both games, but still in one of these games, he's a good 1 week punt, right? We were taking 1 week punts on him at the end of last season as well. So, and game week 38 last season, we took a punt on Mane, didn't we? And how well did that go for all of us? We are 11 subscribers away from our subscriber target for this morning. And I'm not ending the stream until we hit it. So either you're all not going to subscribe, and I'm not going to end it straight away once we hit it. I'll stay till the deadline. But if you are 11 of you watching that aren't subscribed, who do want to help me get to today's target, that would be great. Start Cancelo or Dean? I would probably start Cancelo or Dean. Yeah, Cancelo. As you can see per my bench, that's the decision that I'm making. Let's see what you guys are saying in the poll. Make sure you guys are in and voting on that poll, and we'll watch it in. We'll do it in a minute. Transfer out Edouard or Watkins for Jimenez. I'd probably go Edouard, to be honest. De Gea to Sarr for Hit. That's exactly the transfer I made. Warnock. So yeah, I would probably say so. On a wild card, who do I think is a better? Weghorst and Coutinho or Lacazette and Ramsey? Probably Weghorst and Coutinho, but I probably would want triple Arsenal. So if that's the only way to get triple Arsenal, then I'd go Lacazette and Ramsey. But reports are St. Maximin is out for 2 to 3 weeks. Which forwards are good options for double in 28? Broja, Jimenez, probably still Watkins. I'd still back him with those fixtures. Could punt on Chris Wood, but I don't love it. Those are probably the ones. The Wolves, Jimenez, Broja, and then if you do want a third, then the Villa ones, but you can target 29 as well. What's your opinion about triple captaining Trent? Again, I still think that a triple captain on Salah is a better decision for me. It's not. I don't hate it, but Watkins' expected minutes is the only issue. This is true, but let's see what the. Okay, so 50% of you are saying keep it as it is. 15% saying bench Kilman. 4% are saying bench Bowen. 34% are saying bench Dennis. So it's a straight decision between you guys of bench Cancelo or bench Dennis? Y19, how are we doing? You're already taking a minus 18. Sorry, minus 18 or minus 8. Is it worth another minus 4 to head to Ramsdale? Yes, because that minus 4 will pay off, I think. I can't see that minus 4 not paying off for you this week and going forward in the long run. So yes, I would do it. Take a minus 4 for 7 doublers, Cancelo, or else wildcard right now. If you could get a wildcard out in enough time, in 12 minutes, that you are happy with, then I would do it. But if you don't think you'll do it enough detail, then don't. Because I think your team's in a good enough place. I'm good, thank you. Bench, Cancelo, or Broja. Let's see what the predicted points are saying on the two, because I find that one difficult. I probably play Cancelo, but 4.6 is almost identical. 4.8. As I said, I probably just about favour Cancelo. Edward, thank you very much, Johan, for the super chat. Appreciate it. 7 million forward, worth it? If yes, who? The issue with that is you can't get the one that I would want, which is Jimenez this week. So if we go, that's the issue. He's got a double. The one that I think that comes to mind is either Weghorst or Broja, because Southampton have a good double in 28. If you are wanting to get rid of Edouard, I probably wouldn't do it looking at that for a minus 4. If you do want to sell him, I would either get Weghorst if you are not free hitting in Gameweek 27, but if you are free hitting in Gameweek 27, I'd get Broja. Let me end the poll now. Cool. So thanks. No worries at all. I hope it's helpful. Good luck to anyone heading off. I can see a few of you guys dipping. That's absolutely fine. Why would I wildcard now and not in Game Week 28? Because you can then maximise this game week as well. But also there's a good chance that wildcard in 28 is also a good plan. Saka and Kane or Son and Lacazette. I've been asked this a few times and I think I went with Saka and Kane. Firmino for a minus 4 and start Ronaldo. I'd probably do the Firmino transfer. I'd take a gamble on him. Yeah. Who first on your bench, Gallagher or Dean? You have Coutinho in. I'll probably play Gallagher. I don't back. I'm losing faith in Villa pretty quickly at the moment. So, yeah, that's probably why I'd go with that decision. But there's not that much in it. Not that much between them personally. But, yeah. Is it worth starting King over Mopai? I would. Again, I'm a big... Anyone who hasn't watched the stream, I'm a big double game week player. So, I'll always choose in those situations where you're like, oh, do I start A or B? I'll pick the double game week player 9 times out of 10. I'll pick the double game week player. Hence the starting lineup and my bench at the moment, which is just going to cause me pain. Having to watch that Spurs game, City game later with no City and no Spurs. Oh no. Best Wolves defenders. Number 1 is Saiss, 2 Semedo, 3 probably Cody, 4 Kilman, 5 8 Nori. Sorry. Luckily I muted myself before I sneezed. Have a lovely week. Cheers. Stuff will be back. Video maybe today, probably tomorrow now. Jota to Rafinha and Sanchez to Ramsdale. Yeah, both are good moves. Both are good moves. I would do them. Does anyone else have this? I have this debate with people that you're unable to sneeze once. You always have to sneeze at least twice. Maybe it's just me. Spurs versus City, you can fix that by adding Cancelo in place of Dennis. Yeah, but like if Spurs score, and well, Dennis has got his red card again. Does Dennis play today? He does. Oh no. I think I should turn my camera off when I sneeze because I think some of these replays are going to be so bad. I need to get it up on my phone before. Sorry, let's go back to the questions. Bench Edouard, apparently benched, or Dallo. I'd still start Edouard over Dallo because I don't think Man United will keep a clean sheet this week. Cancelo in, Coutinho on the bench. Let me look at predicted points for you. Oh, it's because I've got forwards only. I've also got his price too low. Coutinho 4.9. That's slightly higher than Cancelo, so yeah, by 0.1. I wonder what they say on here. $3.9. So close again. It says start. It says start your. It says start Coutinho. Have I used Wildcard? Nope. Saving Wildcard. I'm absolutely fine. I'm not ill, but I always sneeze in the morning. Like when I get up. Normally it's earlier than this. Like it's normally like half an hour after I get up, or even earlier, like 10 minutes after I get out of bed. But streams throw me off, apparently. Ramsdale or Sarr. If you've got space for Ramsdale, go for him. I only went Sarr because I have the space. I already had triple Arsenal in my team. So yeah, that's why I did that. Start Brozier or Cancelo. I think we looked at the predicted points just now and I can't remember what it said. It says play Cancelo. Says play Cancelo. Should I start Dean or Broja? Should I start Dean or Broja? Dean or Broja? I'd play Broja out of the two of those. I don't, again, losing faith in Villa. We have 5 minutes to the deadline. Make sure your teams are saved. Transfers are made. Teams are locked in now. Make sure everything is locked and loaded. Cornet or Weghorst? Probably Weghorst. Probably. It's quite close, but probably Weghorst. Cancelo must start. Cancelo, he can hit double digits versus Spurs. I'm not changing it 4 minutes before the deadline. This has been what I've done for the whole deadline, the whole game week. I've had Cancelo on my bench. So, Sponge, are you coming to the meetup later? Thank you all. There are 2 of you more who've just subscribed. So we've hit 15.8k subscribers, aiming for 16 by the end of the month. Bit of a push, but I'm sure we can get there with some doubles and blanks coming up as well. So, yeah, final question, Sponge, you coming later. My team is locked in. Cancelo is going to punish me. Sure, Foster's going to save a penalty as well. Exciting stuff. Weghorst still have a niggling hip injury, Harry. Yeah, but they said from yesterday that he should be fine. And if he's even close to playing, then I think he will. Have I used my wildcard yet? And how many transfers have I got available? I have used my transfers. I've taken a -8 this week. And I have not used my transfer. Can only play one of Foden, Cancelo or Broja. I would probably play Foden. I'd back the attacker in that Spurs game. Jan, thank you for subscribing. What time is it? Once we get to the deadline, we're going to go on FPL team and do a little bit of a free hit draft for the next game week. Yeah, so we'll do that. So don't head off at the end of the stream. We will start planning next week as we do quickly. What's Jimenez ownership? I don't know. I reckon it'll be about maybe 50%. Maybe, yeah. Start Laporte versus or Gallagher. I'd play Gallagher if it was me. Made last minute change and went King over Mopai. Back the doubles. Come on. Join me and back the double game week players. That's what I do. That's what I do. I just play the fixtures always. We have 2 minutes till the deadline of this big double game week. Mane for a -8, big differential. He is indeed. Good luck with that if you are, well, you've obviously done it because we are literally about to hit the deadline. Good luck. I hope he does well. I almost brought him in, but I didn't. Is free hit even worth it? If I put out 10, maybe you even make a transfer. I'll explain why after the end of the stream why I think it's worth it. If you guys are going to head off, start getting your final questions in, but I think you're all pretty set. Please do like the stream, subscribe if you are new, turn on notifications as well so you get the reminder for when videos go live. Turning on notifications you think is a small thing, but it's actually so important for like the performance of videos, because how a video starts is so important to how the video does overall. So if you guys could, help me out and turn on notifications so when I do drop a new video you can watch it pretty soon, then that really does help me out. But like and subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed. We'll be staying on, as I said, for a little bit longer once the deadline passes. So yeah, but good luck to anyone who is heading off. Just trying to see if the deadline is gone. 10 doublers this week. That's not bad. That's a pretty good place to be in. I've got 9. There we go. Deadline has passed. Now let's move on and look at next game week, right? No, let's do it like this. No, Cancelo's just on my bench. So, flick to next game week. So, we of course have blanks and doubles. Players that I know that I want. Fernandes will be in there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to own Mahrez, because I think he's going to start if there's still people out. If Jesus is still out, for example. And I'll probably want to go again. It's either Sterling or it's Foden here. Let's put Sterling in because he's more expensive. And then Cancelo in my defence. Now, Burnley have a double game week, right? So, Burnley options I'm still quite happy with. So, Pope will probably be in there. Like, Weghorst will be in up front. It's whether I go for a third Burnley option for Palace and Leicester. I'm quite tempted to go for one in defence, like Tarkowski. Just because the teams they're playing concede a lot of chances from set pieces. So that's why I would look at that now. I don't have enough money in the bank, but let's just downgrade to, I don't know, Bednarak, for example. If you've got questions about your team for the next few game weeks, do fire them in the chat. Ronaldo's probably unlikely to keep his place. You took triple captain, activated the wildcard, and your timer ran out. What team did you get to? Drop me a message on Twitter and let's see what happens. If you didn't click save or anything, it won't have gone through. Son in my midfield. We're starting to look something how much I'm way over budget. Dennis, of course, is not going to be in there, right? The fixtures this week. Oh, Broja probably. No, that's not who I want. I want Broja. Okay. See, that's really okay. If you just took off your triple captain and saved it for later, like, that's okay. What I don't want to happen is you've made like 20 points of hits and didn't play your wild card. We don't want to be in that situation. Forward that we could go with to sit on the bench probably. Unless I go Kane here because Leeds concede goals. We got stuff on the bench, so like Ramsey can sit on the bench, for example. So minus 1.5, we're still a bit short. I don't quite know where I'd save money. Foster could go to like Gunnarsson, but it's not going to save me enough money, is it? White could go like Tsimikas is dropping in price. 3.7 now. It's 0.6 mil short of this team. But like I could do Sterling to Foden here. Oh, look at this team. Leaves me 2.2 in the bank. Have I got a midfielder on the bench? Yeah, so let's get a cheap defender here. Like, I don't know. From a team, maybe Brighton. Maybe we put in like, I don't know, Lamptey here. 4.5, fine. I take out and get a 6.2 midfielder who's going to be first on my bench. Can I afford Ward-Prowse here? 6.4. Something like this, right? I could take Lamptey out and go, I don't know, who's a cheap defender who plays. To be honest, like I could even just keep Tsimikas in here because something like this. I mean, look at that as a free hit team. Look at that. I'm going to take a screenshot and that will be... I'll put that on Twitter in a... How much do I have for Tsimikas? A 4.3 defender. Right, let's find one. Cornet. Yeah, I may end up going with him. Where's... 4.3. Can I not sort by... No. Okay. Duffy, Veltman. Oh, Veltman's in here. Fine. Something like that then. Cool. Can you do Kilman to Saiss or Semedo? Oh, I've got Kilman in here. Ooh. Maybe I would... Like, maybe I'd go Dallo, right? Exact money in the bank. That is a cracking looking free hit team. Let me screenshot that. Cool. Right, we are going to end the stream there. There will be videos out later. I haven't used my wildcard. No. Thank you all very much for watching. Aaron, welcome. Cornet could be in here. This is just a first sort of quick draft. Thank you all for watching. Good luck this game week. There'll be videos and stuff back. Like and subscribe before you guys go. Have a great weekend all, and I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.